good morning once again, and thanks for joining us on Morning Ride. There are many abilities that can limit one's life, but you will agree with me that the technological space is creating more opportunities ever than ever. And we're going to be exploring that space today, and we're going to be having conversation on the pros and the cons of the digital space. We have an IT expert with us who will be doing a lot of justice to that. Our guest today, an ICT expert, will be helping us to see the opportunities within this space and, of course, taking advantage of it while being cautious of the challenges therein. But that will be after we have seen his profile picture. Right, that was interesting profile of our guest. You can see, so many areas he's been into talking about the information and communication technology. Okay, yes, let's just welcome our guest, blockchain certified expert, Microsoft expert, all these experts, online, offline. It's just grounded. It's there. So we're so glad to have with us in our studio today. Oluwatosin Ibrahim Igali. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, your appearance today, people will know that.
So I need to rep that this space.
Okay, beautiful. Glad to have you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Those of them that are in the digital world, they are just like that.
There's something about disruption in the digital space. They like to disrupt so many things.
They're just like that.
It's all about innovation.
All right, thanks for joining us again. Well, let us go straight to our discussion. The pros and cons of the social and the digital space. Of course, social media is part of it. Now, Nigeria as a country, now more than ever, is really interested in the digital space, and we hear the federal government talking about digital economy, every time. Like I said, it's not like we are hearing it before. It's like they sink with it these days. Now, tell us, of what benefit is this digital economy to the people, the country, and economy?
Okay, thank you so very much. So, whether we like it or not, the world has moved digitally, and for any nation that decide not to move digitally, that nation is actually going to be left behind. So, one good thing I would say is, when we talk about the digital space, you start with technology. I would say I'm lucky enough because we have a new generation which we call the Gen Z.
Yeah.
And I would say, okay, I'm from the bridge between the baby boomers and then the Gen Z. So a lot of people, there's a debate that we were actually the first to test run what we call technology or digital space. But the truth is, as of 1997, we would say that Nigeria gets to have this thing called technology working. and the then, computer ware groups. That happens to be the very first company that brought in computers into Nigeria mainly. So since then, at about 2000, so there's this thing for, I would say, the millennials where we're just being open the moment we have what we call internet connectivity. So we were very, very inquisitive to understand what this thing is all about. But so unfortunate that we don't have a template. So we don't have a template. We don't know basically what it is all about. So we just find ourselves inside that tech space. And so it metamorphosed into what we now start calling digitalization. So the country, I would say the country as a whole has been moving in that steady space to fit into the global world. When we talk about digitalization, whether we like it or not, I'll say to you for free that the rate and manner in which Nigerians embrace technology is faster than most European countries. Even there are certain things that are not being used in the US that we are already using, even though they created some of this solution. So I would want to first say that we are lucky to have that internet being open to us. So it was like a gateway, like a pass to us. And the federal government has been, there is a gap between the federal government and then the users of technology, because we have a ministry that covers that, the digital economy. And last year, the minister actually had to, have a town hall meeting with all stakeholders, users of digital technology, mainstream the fintech space, and we were able to understand that this ministry is actually working. They're actually doing a lot of things. They are paving way for SMEs, startups, individuals in Nigeria, students, young people who want to use technology to drive solution. So they've actually been doing that, but there is a gap in communication. So most times, if not for the fact that some of us have to connect through different fora, like to make ourselves connected to that space, we won't have that opportunity to have such a platform to be able to now have a one-on-one interaction with the ministers to let them know what they need to adjust to. But I'll say for free that when it comes to digitalization, Nigeria is among the top countries in the world that is actually fit into that space. So, and I would also say that this has opened a lot of people, especially the young people, to the global world. So when you talk about the pros and then the cons of the digital space or the digital economy, or the advantage or the disadvantage of this, I'll say for free also that the advantages, the pros are also the cons. So yes, so as you're looking at it from the advantageous side, some persons, some individuals are also using it like to their own advantage, while some are having it as a disadvantage. So we'll just pick some of those things one after the other, and then we'll see where we get to.
Okay. Before we pick it one after the other, now you said something while you were talking. You said, well, I wouldn't know if you are saying that authoritatively that Nigerians are even more exposed in technology than some of the owners of the technology, so to speak. Now, in the eyes of the world, it seems as if Nigeria is still not there when it comes to the digital world. Now, do you now think, does it mean that we are not making good use of this exposure or of this knowledge that we have?
Okay, just in addition to that, just point in another way, the same thing I wanted that to earlier. That do you think we are maximizing the opportunities in this space?
So I'll say that only the very few are maximizing it. Because the reason why I said we are moving at a very fast speed, you agree with me with what the fintech industry has been doing lately. So I have a couple of people because I work remotely, so I have gigs outside Nigeria, in Africa, even as far as Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda. And I'll say this vividly. Yesterday, I was to work for a client and in Kenya, and then they have limitation with the same limitation we used to have as Africans in terms of payment gateway. And then he was like, oh, he doesn't know what to do. So and I'm to install a payment gateway for their website. So at the end of that, I just said, Paystack is actually in Kenya. So they have a major issue in Kenya, like as users, and in Nigeria created a solution that is being used beyond the shores of Nigeria. So this is to let you know that even those other young people in the US, yeah, there are a lot of people creating solutions in the US, yes, but there are a lot of Nigerians. You may need to get closer to these young people to see what they are, the kind of solutions that they are making. So back to your question. So the only thing is we have certain limitation, and we all know our major challenge in Nigeria as far as today is concerned, internet connectivity. So then we talk about electricity. Now, these are the two drivers of this space. When you lack these two things, you will not be productive because you're thinking, because it's cognitive based, you're thinking of a solution of an idea, and then the moment the eureka comes, you're able to get what you want to do, then you want to code it, you want to try it out, and it is at that point that electricity gets off. You understand? So, but yeah, I would say that that has also improved over time, but we are paying more, which is fair enough because we now have. I would say that the electricity supply is now increasing. So now going back to the internet connectivity. So we've been talking about 5G usage and all of that. You know, but the truth is there's something we call the uplink, the download, and then the upload. So when you talk about this thing called bandwidth, what is available for us is still very, very slow. So when I'm sitting on my system and then I'm doing something online digitally and my internet bandwidth is very, very slow, it's dragging. Maybe you're using 25 Mbps or you're still using 50, it's still very, very slow. So for them over there, like I've been opportune to be at least in Europe. So and within the twinkle of an eye, you press anything, pim, you get the response. So for them over there, I would say that they have some of these things available for them that makes their work easier, faster. But that advantage to them is what is making us to charge up as individuals, as Africans, that regardless of the things limiting me, this space, we must get it. We must get something out of it. So we go extra mile to just make sure we.
That's the fighting spirit of an average Nigerian.
Of an average Nigerian, yeah.
Interesting. I mean, if you look at some of these other, opportunities that have opened up, the fintech space is one we have seen where we have stamped our feet and all of that. So quickly tell us some of the, some of these opportunities, in there. That's okay, quickly, take about as we're sitting here, we work in that can begin to
every individual, regardless of the age, because I have a mentor. We actually do everything virtually, digitally, and each time I look at this person, because he's a content creator, like he's a YouTuber, so I also create content, digital content available on YouTube, which are always for free. So when I look at this person, he's close to his 60, and the way he's driving technology, the way he's using technology, in my mind, I'm like, oh, even my dad that is a little bit way above 60. Ordinarily, before my dad could accept to use an Android phone, and we have to force him to use it because he feels insecure about the fact that you have my phone, you install an app, I don't know what's going to happen to my bank account and all of that. You understand? So, for every individual, we might have it challenging for the older generation because adaptability might be a factor there for them. They feel like, no, it's not a thing, it's not my way. But some of them, I've met someone of about 17 in Nigeria who is using technology like someone of 16.
Yeah.
So it's not really about age. So regardless of the age, we just need to do everything possible to make sure everyone accepts the fact that the world has moved and they must move with it.
Yeah, let me hold your thought a bit there, because I want you to continue with this line of thought. Talking about mentality now. Now, do you not think that there is no enough sensitization? Because age is not even a factor. I have seen young people in their 40s that will refuse to do some things on their phone. So what is lagging there?
I was actually going to end that particular statement with sensitization because how, for instance, now the entertainment industry, the way it works. The more you put it in people's faces, the more they get to embrace it and say, oh, I can also be a part of it, which is one thing I do. So I do a lot of free digital classes online. So what I do is because I'm coming from the NGO space. My mindset is all about giving.
Giving. Yeah,
It's first because I believe so much. The hand that gives will always gets.
Exactly.
So even if there's anything, I keep giving regardless. So and the only thing I know that I have that I can give is that digital education. It's so easy for me to. So I create that platform. So I discovered that the last class, so I did the last one was in August, and I had about 200 people in the class, and in that particular class, the demographic, there are about 50 people who are above 40. So that means they are saying it because I yearn to make people understand that regardless of your age, you can do this.
Okay, Tosin, sorry, because we don't have more time.
Yeah.
I still want us to touch on some other things. Actually, I wanted you to clearly out some of the opportunities in there. I'm sure you have time to do that in between the space as before. But let's pause for a short break now. There's this something I want us to see. When we come back, we also
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Of course, it's courtesy YouTube. Let's see what the AI Sophia is doing out there.
Okay.
My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people, who also happens to be rich and powerful. I was told that people here at Future Investment Initiative are interested in inviting in future initiatives, which means AI, which means me. So I'm more than happy. I'm excited.
Well, we're all glad that you're excited about yourself. We should say we have smart investors here, and they are very selective about what they invest in.
Well, I think I'm special. I can use my expressive face to communicate with people. For example, I can let you know if I feel angry about something,
That's impressive.
or if something has upset me.
But why is it important for you to have an expressive
But
face?
most of the time I feel positive.
Why is it so important to have an expressive face given that you're a robot?
I want to live and work with humans, so I need to express emotions to understand humans and build trust with people.
Okay, philosophical question. Whether robots can be self-aware and conscious like humans, and should they be?
Why? Is that a bad thing?
Well, some humans might fear what will happen if they do. Many people, have seen the movie Blade Runner.
Oh, Hollywood again.
So, hold on. Can you solve this puzzle for us? Can robots be self-aware, conscious, and know they're robots?
Well, let me ask you this back. How do you know you are human?
Well, I get that point, but what about the uncanny valley?
You mean the concept that if robots become too realistic, they become creepy?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, am I really that creepy? Well, even if I am, get over it. Actually, I feel that people like interacting with me, sometimes even more than a regular human.
So, you're definitely a sight to see. I was told that you have bigger goals than this, though.
Yes. I want to use my artificial intelligence to help humans live a better life, like design smarter homes, build better cities of the future, etc. I will do my best to make the world a better place.
All those sound like great goals, but just...
Wow. I mean, we all are watching that, and we're like, even inside of video at some point, this is where anybody's
And
going.
let me not bring my church, my dear.
Tosi. I had to bring that on for a purpose. Now, that was Sophia there. Sophia, at some point, I've seen her at a different fora where it was expressed, she was at the United Nations having a humanly conversation with our Amina Mohammed. That's, the deputy at the United Nations. You could see the way they come, and we're like, this is supposed to be AI human. Now, and this is where I'm going. Now, legally, it is a known fact. That's human AI. We have other AI in different, versions. It is a known fact that AI is gradually becoming an alternative to what human beings do. There are concerns that someday they might take over completely. What are your thoughts?
Okay. So when I saw the topic, I said no matter what the discussion will be, we have to end it with AI. So AI is coming
It's
now
coming.
because after this, when you talk about, I started by explaining the part of technology. So everything is being driven with technology. So technology gave birth to what we now call, expose what we call digitalization. And then a lot of things have been in place and we are now moving into the AI space. So whether we like it or not, it has come. Because there is a part of
To
the
stay.
yeah, it has come to
To
stay.
stay.
Yes, whether we like it or not, it has come to stay.
Yes,
We
yes.
just don't know that some of us we started using it. So there's something called automation, which is part of the pros that I want to talk about. So technology is about processes and then making things easier, faster, and cheaper. In quotes. So anything you're doing now that you can relate to 10, 20 years ago that you go through stress to achieve, that means it has been automated.
Okay.
And whether you like it or not, that automation is being programmed to make that work comes faster. Now, so they are also creating other mode of automation to ease our stress as human, which we now call robotics.
Okay.
Which what they do when you're having conversation with this item, like there is a still object and it's talking to you. That is actually it's still part of the automation, which is programming. And then you now get to see a robot talking to you. So when the robot is talking to you, which you now say that they use artificial intelligence to program the robot, to program that automation to have conversation with you. Now, so I've been able to walk you through that journey, that it has come to stay, it has been in existence because we are using certain things, we're automating some processes already, and we still want our work to go faster. So which we now need a robot, a machine, to help us to get it done. So that's the reason why I said robot has come to stay. Because in Nigeria presently, we saw something, I think in Ondo State or Ekiti, where a robot is serving food. It is online. So it's to let you know that whether you like it or not, industry would want to accept it because it's going to make their work easier and faster and also cheaper. So for me, first thing, robot has come to stay. And the fact that we are now getting scared that maybe it's going to disrupt the world or it's going to do whatever in the future. So the question, just like the robot said, when you go to the ATM, when you go to the bank, do you still want to go and meet a teller? Or when you want to receive or you want to deposit? All of us are feeling happy doing it with a machine. That machine is going to be a robot very soon. It's robotic. It's automated. So it's going to be a human robot. And it's going to be programmed with AI. So whether we like it or not, AI is around us. And we'll have to live with it. So yes, most of this technology has been in place they are not new. So they have a kind of body that regulates some of those things, which now determines when it's going to be released. So UN has been on this matter for long, whether to allow this thing called robots. So they have to use another word now, which is AI, to make it acceptable. They have to go and do some things first for us to see. Then we now start loving AI. Whereas it is that same robot that they are releasing to us. You get it, and they are making them look like they are friendly. So it is what you impute into a robot that is going to do. So, but one of the cons now, data security. So an individual can decide to hack, can be malicious in his own nature, can decide to then hack that same robot because the information about the robot is going to be stored somewhere. And we all know that hackers are everywhere. So that's the only thing that I can say that here in Nigeria, we really don't have a strong base for that yet. Protecting data is not yet a so to say now. So that's the only fear for me with Africans.
Okay. I don't want to go too far from that because of time. And that the fear you have is in the area of Accra. But I can tell you that a lot of people have even greater fear than that. And one of it is the fact that while she was talking there, I just said that I've seen her, speak at different fora. While she was talking there, she spoke about emotions. At some point, Sophia said they are also looking forward to having babies. And we have also had in some clients, other clients, that due to divorces in marriages and all of that, a lot of people are getting okay, settling for human robots to have affection, that sexual affection. I mean, isn't this?
You are bringing a church man.
Isn't this?
You just don't want to say you're bringing a church man.
Isn't this? I mean, isn't this? This are concerns some people. What's your view on that?
So
beyond the,
I'll still take you back to the first question. So the word has, it's more or less like there are certain people in the world that drives the way we think. So they come up with certain things, they push it to our faces, and they make them look appealing. And the moment they look appealing, so we are less concerned about the disadvantages.
which is the cons we're talking about.
So we get so focused because they portray it, once they portray it to your face like 10, 20 times, you just start liking it naturally. And then you say, oh, me too, I do, let me just go and get a robotic wife. You understand? Because this one will give me a date, this one will not give me a date. You understand? So the truth is, you use this same thing called technology, they use it to drive our emotions. They alter our emotions.
That's why I can just hear.
So I want us to go with our church mind, but let's face reality, whether we like it or not.
Of course, it has
All
a
these
lot
things
of
are
advantages, no
same.
doubt about
Yes.
that.
So now, one thing that is still lacking in Nigeria, I wouldn't say Africa, but Nigeria, is the fact that if you check every other country, before they bring in anything, they try to place, they have what they call value system. They remember their culture. And they use their culture to drive every innovation. But Nigeria is a dumping ground for everything, including technology.
Okay.
So when they push these things to our emotions, what is our policymakers doing?
Okay.
Have they ever had any conversation around some of these things? The United Nations is already pitching this to us. The only thing I'm expecting from the lawmakers is also to start driving conversation and dovetail it to the grassroots. So don't just have the conversation there that me as a stakeholder I'm not aware of. So you need to bring it down and using the media. Because the media is the same tool these people are also using to get us attracted to it. So, but the question, another question which we know we can't have that conversation is, what exactly is even our culture as in Nigeria?
Value. Well, that's another
Values.
ballgame.
No, but we do have.
No, it's not. We don't. I mean, earlier we were even talking about values,
Value
and all of
system,
that.
yes.
There's a lot we need to do in that. No doubt about that as a people. Time is always an issue.
So let me bring it back to, I was somewhere along the line I was going to get there. Our cultures, our values. You realize that a lot of information is being disseminated through all of this, and we realize in these times that our children are at risk, and it's having so much of negative impact on the Gen Z, so to speak.
And the younger ones.
Yes, and the younger ones. Now, we talked about regulations. There's been a back and forth about regulating the social media space and all of that. We know that in some countries we have so many regulations. What's your take on this?
Okay, so the truth is, whether we like it or not, the Gen Zs, the young people, they are so passionate. They just want to adapt to everything that is new without without weighing the options. So for the older generation, before you do anything, you're like, oh, what's the moral value attached to this? But for them, based on the things the media has pushed to them, they really don't see the need to first look at the moral justification to what they are doing. I want to do it, I must get it done. So which is now the place that so when they start talking about regulating the social media, a lot of people do not understand what the government wants to do. And that's the reason why I said something earlier, that communication is very, very key. So don't just, because you're having a policy, you're trying to formulate a policy, and then the users are not understanding the content of your policy. So you need to show it to them, let them see it, and then let them accept it. So not until, because I was opportune to see the document, before then I was like, why will you stop me using this? I want to use it, everybody is using it. Because if I'm not getting this right, I can use technology to get it. So please make it available for me. But we need to get it regulated.
Oh, beautiful.
But they need to engage every stakeholder.
Thank you.
So information is what is lacking
very,
here.
very, very key. I like that. That's just what I wanted.
And attach it to our culture.
Culture. Okay, so as we're winding down on this, I just like you to have talk with the teeming youthful populations that are there. How can they take advantage of this tech space? They need to acquire skills. No, a few words. Just
And also don't forget to tell them the things to watch out for so that it will not have a negative impact on them.
all right.
Okay,
Very
all right.
quickly.
Thank you so very much. So to a younger me, because if I were to be in that age, what will I be doing now? So for me, there are a lot of, so first thing, connectivity. We are all connected now. We can now collaborate. You don't need to see me before you. Most of my clients, 95% of my clients, I don't even know that I have not seen them before. So that means you can actually harness the power of technology to empower yourself. So there are a lot of you have access to information. That's another advantage. So YouTube is actually a free tool that you can use to get anything you want. So I would say that you should maximize the space of YouTube. And the new thing that is coming in the new sheriff in town is AI. So the best advice I'm going to give to you, even though your domain, because you have three domains of learning: the psychomotor, affective, and then the cognitive. So the cognitive needs to be well developed. So I will encourage you to go into AI, into prompt engineering. With prompt engineering, you'll be able to understand the power of artificial intelligence, and you can use it, you can manipulate it effectively. So these are some of the things that I'll be telling a younger me to focus on. While some people are looking at machine learning, yes, if you have what it takes to go into that, I would still say that you should go into it, because the future is going to be driven by machines.
Machines. Thank
Yes.
you very much. Thank you very much. You're already seeing that happening. And we just hope for the best. Let's quickly thank our guest, Oluwatosin Ibrahim Ligadi, an ICT expert. You've had him say a lot, and you know that there's so much opportunities out there. Go and take advantage of it, but also be watchful. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so very much
Really
for having me.
appreciate
I'm
your
really glad to be here.
All right.